special edition of CTV Sports. I'm Madeline Davis.
And I'm Mike Walsh, filling in for Leah Cackowski, and I am stoked to be back on the show. Here's what we've got on tap for you tonight.
Rams basketball has been busy the last week, competing in the Mountain West Tourney and patiently waiting for the results of Selection Sunday.
Softball continues to play through jam-packed weekends while women's tennis began conference play.
Leah had time to catch up with some of our favorite Rams, Nick Clifford and Joel Scott.
All of that and more right here on CTV Sports, which starts right now. As Madeline said, the CSU men's basketball team was busy over the break, concluding their regular season with a win over Air Force and then matching up with 3 different teams over 3 days to try and claim the conference title. Starting off the tournament, the Rams had a favorable matchup against San Jose State, a team that had only won 9 games all year. With that being said, the Rams did let the Spartans hang around for a little bit before claiming a 72-62 victory on Wednesday. With Isaiah Stevens capturing a double-double and Joe Palmer hitting 4 threes off the bench, the Rams couldn't ask for much more. But now moving to Thursday, where the Rams were faced with a Nevada team that broke Ram fans' hearts in their last outing here at Moby. However, it was quite the opposite in this one, with the Rams controlling the game from the jump. The Wolfpack made a few runs, but in the end, the green and gold just kept making shots, winning the game 85-78 and putting themselves into the semifinal for the second time in 3 years, where they were faced with a red-hot New Mexico team that had already claimed a huge win over Boise State. And this was when the Rams' momentum simply ran out. With a less than ideal 34% field goal percentage and 14 turnovers, this one just wasn't the Rams' day. Anytime Isaiah is having turnover issues, the team suffers, as the star point guard had 5 in this one, not his best outing. Overall, though, a 2-1 trip to Vegas this year for the men's team is nothing to be ashamed of. And what's more, their season is far from over.
All right, Mike, the Rams are back in the big dance. The news was made official this past weekend when CSU heard their name called on Selection Sunday as a 10 seed with a first 4 game against the Virginia Cavaliers in Dayton, Ohio. This came as a shock to a lot of people, as the Rams were named as the last team to make the cut. Most had CSU safely in the field, but the committee had other plans. In fact, pretty much every Mountain West team ended up as a lower seed than projected, with Boise also making the trip to Dayton for the first 4. I guess all the Rams can do is prove their worth, and that starts tonight as the game is happening right now. It's currently a very high-scoring affair, as it's 4-2 Virginia with 14:52 left in the first. We'll have to just see how this one ends out.
And sticking on the topic of basketball, we actually had our very own Leah Cackowski sit down with 2 of the Rams' best players, and oddly enough, they grew up in the same area. Take it away, Leah.
What's up, Ram fans? Welcome to the second episode of Catch with Cack, except this time, shoot around edition. Joining me today, Nick Clifford and Joel Scott, both on the CSU men's basketball team. So starting off with some sit-down questions at first, but then, of course, we'll play a fun game at the end. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay,
great
perfect. Let's get into it then. This may be the first year you both have played as a Ram. This is not the first year you two have known each other. Obviously, a lot of history, growing up in the Springs together. Did you ever think to yourself that you'd be playing on the same team, this high of a level with this much success?
Me personally, no. Yeah, not at all. It's kind of funny when I kind of figured out that Meek and like Javante too were both getting recruited here, because like we grew up playing against each other. So it's kind of weird, like almost like when we were getting recruited, having the option that we might be playing together, and now that we're here and been on the team for a whole year, it's weird, but it's so cool. It's a really cool experience.
I thought I was going to do all my time at my other school, and so, you know, it just works in weird ways, but we all ended up here at the same place, and it's been a blessing. It's been a lot of fun, and it's flown by.
You know, mentioning that you were at a different school, you know, just down the road at Boulder, how does it just speak to, like, the culture and climate, what that Nico Medved has brought? Like, what really drew you to CSU to finish out, you know, your senior year here?
Nah, he's a great coach. He just has a great culture, really cares about you as a man, not just a basketball player. And so it's been, once again, I go back to it, it's been a blessing to play for him and with my teammates who have just really accepted me and allowed me to flourish this year.
Talking about a great coach, he's so good, I feel like, with building relationship with you guys. Like, I even remember the press conference after the Rocky Mountain Showdown of, like, saying, like, hey, like, Neek's a human being. Like, he played with those guys. Obviously, he lived with them. So what was, like, your ultimate mindset going into that game that you did so well in, too?
That game was a little different for me. I was pretty hyped up the whole year up until that point. My blood pressure was high that day. But it was a lot of fun to play against my old teammates. I got nothing but love for them. But it was definitely a personal game for me. I wanted to win that one more than anyone. But it was a lot of fun. And then we were able to just enjoy that moment as a team. You know, that's a rival school. So winning that for our fans who showed up and supported as well was just big time.
Obviously, Joel, too, you know, transition up from D2. The amount you did at Black Hills State is probably, like, the list goes on. Like, you have to scroll through your entire page of, you know, D2 Player of the Year just to say one thing. So tell me kind of what was, like, the decision for that switch with having such a legacy at a different school and then having one more year at CSU. What was that decision?
Yeah, it was kind of a tough one because I do have so much love and I had so many people that I care about back at my last school. But at the end of the day, it was kind of time for me to move on and kind of try something else, try something new. And so that's kind of what it was. And I hit the portal, and Coach Ali hit me, and from there it was kind of wraps. I kind of had a feeling after talking to Medved and Ali a couple of times that this was probably the right place for me.
How does Fort Collins differ than any place that you've ever had to play before?
Well, shoot, for me, it's just the community part. I think everyone really cares about, like, who, like, the team itself, but also just who you are as a person. The amount of people that come up to you and just, like, ask how you're doing, like, throughout the day, like, not even talking about basketball is pretty incredible. So I think that's one of the things that I found really special about Fort Collins.
I definitely agree. The community has been one of a kind. They just treat you with so much respect, and they look up to you and show a lot of love. So it's been great being here. I've never had an encounter where a fan is treating me wrong, even if I may have a bad game or something. You know, so it's a great community, great fan base. They always support us, even when we lose a game maybe. So that's been special. And then just being around my teammates has been a great chemistry that we have and a great family.
You guys just really mesh so well this year. Maybe it's a test to all of you knowing each other for a long time, but it's been really special to watch. So with that, let's head in to the bonus round. Welcome to the bonus round. Basically, it's pretty simple. We're going to be playing horse, but only in the mid-range because I do not think I will be able to shoot a three-pointer. But yeah, ask some fun questions, and then, yeah, who's going to win? Who do you think's going to win?
Not him.
I mean, do you think you can with the Crocs going on here, Joel? No, no chance. All right, let's get into another bow. Okay.
That's too easy.
This one is probably the most famous basketball debate of all time. Who's better?
Michael Jordan.
Kobe Bryant.
Well, Michael Jordan and LeBron for this one. Joel knew where I was going.
Kobe's the GOAT, but I got LeBron over Jordan.
Who do you think is the most and least likely to survive a zombie apocalypse on this team?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Least likely, I got Murph.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got Murph just because they're going to get him first.
I feel like Pat might be able to survive very well.
I say Jack Payne.
Or Jack Payne.
Or Joe Palmer.
With the lefty shots.
Oh my God.
We're back. Yeah, I got you.
Nah.
Got you.
Oh, you finally.
My left hurt
I've
me
never
a little
shot a
bit.
ball with my left hand before. Okay. I feel like this is like the best way to like. Let's see. No, you have to prove it. I'm not making that regardless.
He keeps you in if he misses?
If he misses, I stay in. It's all on Joel then. He's gonna win. Yeah, that's it.
I win, man.
Well, yeah, so Nick won. Because you got H-O. I knew it would be between.
No.
Even with the Crocs and the left shot, of course. Last question. Thank you guys again so much for coming. But what is one goal that you have for yourselves personally before the end of the year?
Personally, I just want to it's a cliche answer, but just be the best version of myself so that I can be there for my teammates to help us go win Mountain West Championship and make a run in the March Madness. So
I would second that. I feel like that's the best way to put it.
I love it. I think that's a great goal. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Leah. I am sure all Ram fans agree with them and hope that the team can reach some new heights this postseason. And now for what we've all been waiting for, our CTV official brackets from both your anchors. So Madeline, let me join you over there.
Thanks, Mike. Now, this is going to be a quicker bracket breakdown than most would do, but there are still plenty of surprising matchups and results for the both of us. Here is my first quadrant of the bracket in the East. So I got UConn, Northwestern, San Diego State, Auburn, BYU, Illinois, Washington State, Iowa State, making it out of the 32. Then UConn, San Diego State, a bit of an upset, BYU, and Iowa State. And then from there, it's just the two best teams, UConn and Iowa State, and I do have Iowa State taking it because, I mean, you know, we saw what they did to Houston. They could do the same thing to UConn. Mike, let's see what you have.
Okay. All right, going into mine in the East, I also have UConn taking that first one. I think FAU is just not a great team. San Diego State and UAB, good game. San Diego State's taking that one. And then looking at the bottom here, I think Illinois is pretty easily the best team out of those two games there. But then Iowa State, that's a solid team right there. So I'll have them going against UConn. But UConn is just so dominant. I imagine them winning that game by a lot of points.
Okay, some different answers, but now let's go to the West region. So here I got North Carolina, Mississippi State, Michigan State shouldn't even be in the tournament, St. Mary's, Alabama, New Mexico, which is a bit of an upset, Baylor, Nevada, once again, maybe an upset, but maybe not, should even be a 10 seed, Arizona. Then Mississippi State over North Carolina. I know that's a big one, but UNC, I don't know, they're just not it for me. But then St. Mary's over Alabama, and then St. Mary's again. I do see New Mexico taking the loss to Baylor, and I do also see Nevada dropping out to Baylor, and then it's St. Mary's and Baylor in the final of there. And I'm taking Baylor.
I'll agree with you down there with that New Mexico and Nevada. I mean, those are two hot teams, obviously. Shout out Mountain West. But I do have both of them losing. I have Baylor beating New Mexico, and then I have Nevada beating Baylor and going to the final against North Carolina. That top up there, I think North Carolina dominates. I think St. Mary's is a good team, but I think North Carolina dominates those games. I think it's North Carolina, Nevada, and that's where Nevada's run stops. I got North Carolina taking this one.
Okay. We'll just have to see. Now going south with some powerhouses. Yeah, this one, this is my upset bracket. Completely upset bracket. Houston, very good, but I see Nebraska beating them in the second round. Nebraska is my Cinderella story for the whole thing. Same with JMU. JMU, they are unstoppable, and I definitely see them taking it over Duke. And then Nebraska, I have them making it to the Final Four with NC State. Once again, a bit of an upset, but NC State is an 11 seed. To me, that's a bit absurd. And then I do also have Boise over Colorado, and I got Boise State going to the Elite Eight.
Okay.
What do you have, Mike?
I mean, that 8 and 11 seed there, that's pretty wild to me. I think the disrespect on Wisconsin is too much. I got ties to Wisconsin, but still, I mean, they are a really good team. They got really good players, so I have them coming out of the top there, beating Houston, who I think is a really good team, and beating Duke. These are good games, but I think Wisconsin can do it. So I think Wisconsin's coming out of that side. And then Kentucky, I don't really see the matchups that you're seeing. I think NC State's a good team, but I think Kentucky overmatches them at the guard position. And then that bottom there with Florida and Marquette. I like Florida. Marquette without Tyler Kolek is kind of useless. So I'm going to say Florida loses that one to Kentucky, and I'm going to say Wisconsin takes it over Kentucky in what I think is the easiest region.
Okay. We'll see. I definitely think it's an upset region.
I can see that. But
And now for our final region, we have the Midwest. Here I've got Purdue going pretty far, all the way, to be honest. But then my biggest upset probably here is McNeese over Gonzaga. I don't think Gonzaga, they are not as strong as they have been in the past.
Agreed.
McNeese is on fire. Then South Carolina over Creighton. As CSU fans, we all know how overrated Creighton is. And then South Carolina and Purdue in the final in this region, but I do have Purdue going on to the Final Four.
I'm not going to lie to you. Mine is very different from that. Okay. I do not have faith in Purdue. I know last year I was big on Purdue.
You were,
but they let me down so hard.
I chose Purdue to win because of you.
I at least put them as a first-round win, which was generous at all. But I'm taking Utah State over them. Then I'm actually taking Utah State to come out of the top of this region. But then I'm having Tennessee down there. Tennessee's a really good team. I think they got one of the top 5 players in the country in Dalton Knecht. Unfortunately, they got to beat CSU. There's some really good games here. McNeese, as you said, one of 4 teams in the country with 30 wins this year. Yeah. Just insane from where they came from. Will Wade, their coach, awesome guy. Tennessee's taking this one, though. I don't think Utah State really stands a chance. So,
You know, I had Tennessee losing to St. Peter's. I want to see the Peacocks
exactly.
fly.
So I don't.
Okay. Well, now we're moving on to our Final Four, and it wouldn't be fair to talk about our Final Four without bringing in the reigning CTV March Madness champ, Max Dietz. Max, let's hear it.
Thank you so much, Madeline. It feels so good to finally be appreciated by the sports department. With my win last year, based off of all my sports knowledge, here's what I see going down.
Max had San Diego State and FAU in the Final Four.
Oh, yeah.
So.
We got Washington State and Baylor. George Washington has been dead for so long. So long. It doesn't even matter. But Baylor here rhymes with Taylor. Taylor Swift just won the Super Bowl. So clearly the Swifties are going to get a win here, and Baylor's going to go all the way down. And then we got Kentucky versus Tennessee. While Tennessee may be one of the 10 I see, it's not one of the 2 I see. So it's going to sadly get beaten by Colonel Sanders and that secret recipe of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it'll be down to Baylor and Kentucky. Sadly for Swifties, that Kentucky Fried Chicken secret recipe is going to be a little too much for them, and Kentucky will end up winning. But so that's all I have.
Look, I mean, that's a decent Final Four.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to lie to you.
Your reasoning might be a little off.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Okay. Now we got from my Final Four, we've got,
you go over there.
I have got Iowa State, Baylor,
go that way.
NC State, and Purdue. And then I have Iowa State versus Purdue in the final. Iowa State, they were robbed of a 1 seed in my opinion. Definitely should not have been the last 2 seed. You know, give that to UNC.
Iowa State's a good team. I won't lie to you.
I got the Cyclones taking it all.
Okay. Look, I don't hate it. But looking at mine, again, it's what I said earlier. UConn is just the best team. It's simply put, they are the best team. They're going back to back. They have the players. They have the coach. Dan Hurley.
Iowa State to get there, though.
I think Dan Hurley is the best coach in the country. I think they're going back to back, even though it hurts me to say it's against Wisconsin, but I think UConn's taking this and going back to back.
Okay.
But with that, we will wrap up our basketball talk, but please don't go anywhere just yet, as we still have more CSU sporting news coming up.
After 2 years?
You gotta be kidding me! Okay, no.
Robbie.
Seriously, do you have anything you can use against the dragon?
I can do Fireball. That'll do a lot of damage.
Yeah, to all of us.
Well,
We're in a 4-foot room.
I'm sorry, what else do you want me to do?
Okay.
Hold on. All right. Wizard, what do you do?
Women's tennis was on the road to start conference play this past weekend, where they ended up with a split result of 1 win and 1 loss. The first matchup was down in the Springs versus the Air Force Falcons, where CSU took the dub 5-2. After this hot start to conference play, CSU traveled down to New Mexico to take on the Lobos, and unfortunately for Ram fans, this one went to the Lobos 4-2. CSU will now look forward to this weekend back at home when they take on both the Boise State Broncos and the Utah State Aggies.
Now, I know we threw a lot of basketball at you, but there were more CSU programs that had busy weekends. Softball did travel to Las Vegas, Nevada for a doubleheader against UNLV to begin conference play, and both games ended with very different results. Game's 1 victory came courtesy of a home run ball from Danielle Cerna, and the momentum from the 2-run bomb was just enough to get the bat started, coming away with a win 9-2. After Sydney Hornbuckle got in her groove, she was able to shut down the Rebels and keep them to just 6 hits through 29 batters. Unfortunately, Game 2 didn't play out the same. Starting pitcher Elena Thied was able to slow said momentum coming into the second game, even with yet another grand slam from Peyton Allen in the 5th. It was only enough to take the lead, not keep it. But the Rams will return back to Fort Collins for more conference play, hosting the Nevada Wolfpack later this week. And now to switch things to the turf, Gideon, let's talk lacrosse.
Hello, beautiful Ram fans. Now, here in Colorado, boys lacrosse is a very young sport, only having its first season in 1999. And in the 4A classification, there are 39 different teams that compete for the 24 playoff spots. Here in Northern Colorado, there is a team that made that 24-team field last season and made it to the round of 16 that's ready to make a push for greatness.
Lacrosse has been played in America for over 900 years, and for 16 of them, it has been played at Windsor High School. And with a team full of both vets and newcomers, the Wizards are ready to come out and take the state by storm. At the end of the 2023 season, Windsor lacrosse did something spectacular. They won their first playoff game since 2016, and that win helped to validate the work that players and coaches have been putting in for Windsor for years.
You know, I think it just gives more confidence to the players and also the coaches as well that we're trending in a good direction, and it gives incoming players excitement as well too.
And a lot of the impact offensive players from that playoff team, like Hayden Williamson, are returning. And this current crop of starters have been prepared for years to take this mantle.
Last year we did have quite a few seniors on our team that contributed a lot, and it was really nice to have their leadership and their knowledge of the game. Now that I'm going up, I need to be that leader and I need to hold people accountable so that we can have the best season possible.
This offensive experience will be valuable, as most of the graduating seniors were defensive players. One of the few returning defensive starters is sophomore goalie Carter Bailey.
I've gotten a lot better at communication, so with communication, that's going to help my defense try to stop ball or make them take shots from further out. Hopefully that can up my save percentage. I would say overall my skill has gotten better.
And with this confidence in his skills and teammates, Bailey feels much more comfortable in his role.
I honestly feel like I have a lot less pressure than last year, because last year, me playing as a freshman, that was very nerve-wracking at first, but now I'm used to what varsity games feel like.
And that varsity experience is going to come in really handy, as the game plan has changed a lot heading into this season.
Because we need to focus more on the details. Last year we were focused on the details, but not as much as we should have been. And now that we have that lack of experience a little bit now on our defense and everything, we just really got to focus up and know that it's really on us.
And the coaching staff is making sure that the players are ready for anything that comes their way.
I think one thing that we focus on is we try to really focus on the fundamentals. That's something that's been one of the things, our secrets to success. So that way our players can grasp the concepts we're trying to teach. So that way, whether they're a bigger school they can pull from or they have more resources, we still are able to compete.
And the Wizards are ready to rise to any challenge ahead of them, as they're playing 8 of the top 15 teams in the state from last year.
Our philosophy is to schedule kind of a tough competition. And also with the way that CHASA is kind of organized, we're rewarded for that. When you go play those tough teams, kind of sees the things that you're good at, but also things that you need to work on as well too.
And with how tight this team is, they're ready to take on any challenge ahead of them.
A lot of us have been playing since youth lacrosse here in Windsor. The bus rides are really fun with all the boys, especially after you win. Those bus rides home are a lot of fun.
And the Wizards are expecting to have a lot more fun bus rides home this season.
We might surprise some people this year. I really think with our game plan and the guys we have on defense and the guys we have on offense that we could really focus up and have a good season, make a push for hopefully state.
And if the Wizards cast the right spell, they just may do exactly that.
The Wizards currently sit at 1-0 after beating the Lutheran Lions on March 7th with a score of 10-2. And will be playing against the Poudre School District Stars at H.J. Dudley Field at Windsor High School tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Stay tuned as Madeline will take us from the field to the diamond with a new episode of In the Zone.
Oh, you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Welcome back from the break, Ram fans. While it has been perhaps a bit longer than I would have liked, I'm back with a new episode of In the Zone. Let's check it out. Welcome to In the Zone, the sports talk show with a twist. I'm your host, Madeline Davis, and we're in a new location because it's my show and I can do whatever I want with it. Today, I've got two special guests here. We have Molly Gates and Peyton Allen from the CSU softball team. Thank you guys so much for joining me.
Of course.
So, how this works is there's going to be 3 rounds. The 90 seconds start now. This first one, you guys both answer. Okay. Position and where you're from.
Second base, Louisville, Colorado.
Outfield.
Seattle, Washington.
Okay, what's your go-to post-game meal?
Probably like a burger and fries.
What's your favorite song at the moment?
In the beginning.
Okay. What are your favorite uniforms?
Pins. Oh wait, was that yours? Sorry.
Orange Aggie.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Okay, this one you guys can both answer. Who's your favorite social media / photography intern?
Madeline Davis.
Madeline? Yeah. Oh, love her.
No way. Who would have thought? Okay. Okay, last question. Favorite athlete growing up?
Javier Baez.
Okay. Enthusiastic shortstop. That's what I'm hearing.
Not anymore.
Now it's time for round 2, which is a game. And I'm excited for this game. I decided to morph some of you guys together.
Oh my god.
And you guys have to guess.
I feel like I'm gonna be good at this.
Who these are.
I know who that is.
Okay, so this
that's
is
like an iconic duo. Yeah.
That is the duo.
Okay, who is this?
Brooke and Morgan Cosby.
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
Good job.
I feel like you guys are going to be way better at this than I anticipate. Okay.
Oh, that's me. And Haley.
You and Haley?
Yeah, it is you and
Wow.
Haley.
Oh, Peyton. Who are you with?
That's not my teeth. What the heck? Or my hair? Who is that?
Do you want me to tell you?
I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
It is in fact just 2 pictures of you.
What?
So for round 3, how this works is you guys are going to draw a personal logo. And while you guys are drawing your logos,
Hobby?
here's some Crayola markers, not sponsored. And
Sponsor her.
I'm going to ask you some questions. So both of you guys had kind of unconventional ways of ending up at CSU. Can you guys talk about a little bit how you got here?
I was committed to a different school my junior year of high school, and then that kind of fell through. So took a chance going here and stayed here ever since for the last 5 years. So that's how I ended up here.
I started my softball career in college at North Dakota State, and then I didn't really like North Dakota, but like it was a great program and softball program and everything. Yeah, I just didn't really feel like it was home for me though. So I went to the portal and I emailed Coach Fisher like 100 times, and then she finally responded to me, and I came out on a visit, and yeah, I just loved it here. So the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's been a good fit.
Yeah,
so.
definitely has been.
No, okay. I have one last question.
Hurry up.
What kind of legacy do you guys hope to leave behind?
I just hope to leave behind, I don't know, like that, just like being a good teammate, being kind to one another. Like at NDSU, we struggled with like maybe, I don't know, like culturally, like the seniors or like were, you know, I don't know. But I just feel like on this team we do a really good job at.
Too cliquey?
Kind of. It's just like everybody's equal on this team, and we're just all kind to one another. And so I just hope I leave that behind. That like I was a nice teammate, and that I was like passionate about what I did, and yeah.
That's a good answer. Hopefully we'll win conference this year, take home a championship, and our whole class will leave that legacy on the program. But yeah, similar, just being a hard worker, being a good teammate, and just loving what we do each and every day.
I like those answers. Well, that was the end of round 3.
Sweet.
Thank you guys so much for being on.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
Madeline.
Of course, yeah. Do you guys feel like you're in the zone now, even though I don't have the TV behind me?
I'm still in the zone right now.
Okay, I'm good. I'm glad.
I'm locked in.
Yeah. Take this feeling into the rest of your day.
Okay, will do.
It's always a fun time getting to talk to the softball team. And if that snippet intrigued you, you can find the whole episode on our YouTube channel later. Well, Ram fans, that's all we have for you tonight. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week.